love everlasting. I can't understand that Houdini was a great magician. Could crack a lock, oh yes he could. Position. My heart is nothing like those locks. Love sucks like Little Red Riding Hood and you're the fox. Ooh, baby, I'm scared of you. I don't believe in magic. I believe in love everlasting. I don't believe in magic. I believe in love everlasting. No pulling, no rabbits out my hat. How does that sound? Right? Baby, now I can't go for that. I can't understand that, baby. Oh no. You got it, Huggy. Understand that. I'm back, baby. I missed y'all. You ain't know who did it. Oh, I know I ain't. And I can't understand that, baby. Oh, like Rudolph Valentino, I can fall down on my knees, pull flowers out my sleeve. Girl, I know you will believe. I wonder, I'm back, baby. Ooh, I can't understand that. Man, I miss y'all so much. It's so good to be back. Who flowers out my hat? Do a disappearing act. Yeah, you so strong. Girl, I really turn you right below. I wonder. I understand that, baby. Can I get a soul clap? Yeah. You the man. I'm available. No, I ain't. Thank you, say. Don't need a bar. Boy, Chicago and a dance floor I won't go to if this song come on. Shout out to my cousin Tuck. You know what it is. Oh no, I can't understand that. Yes, indeed. Let me groove ya. I need a little more. Baby, let me soothe ya. Ooh, baby, I need a little more. Baby, let me hold ya. I need a little more. Baby, let me squeeze ya. Alright. I need a little more. Baby, what you want? Hey. Oh. That's right. A little more. Hey. Y'all make sure y'all click that like button. Share the show out. It's gonna be quick, but it's gonna be good. Troya! Oh, baby, I need a little more. Want, baby, what you want? Oh, baby, I need a little loving. Sure. Oh, baby, I need a little more. Oh, baby, I need a little more. Squeeze you. There we go. What you? Hey. Ow. Alright. That's what's up. Hear me and rejoice. It's so good to be back, guys. I have missed you all. I have been on a little hiatus, but your boy's back. I'm back. And I feel good. I'm excited. Man, shout out to, let's see who was my first life. Sweet Lord. Shout out to you. You get the salute. Shout out to Athena. Shout out to my man Leroy Honeycutt. Huggy Pacino. He got the Bobby Womack. I know my brother. That's what's up. Shout out to my brother DJ Just JOK. What's up, brother? Hey, man. Good show today, too, by the way. But I just want to send a shout out. Y'all make sure that y'all subscribe to DeSoto You Dig. If you ain't already, shame on you. There's something wrong with you. And you need to get your mind and your life right. So, but if you haven't subscribed, I forgive you. You see how I tied that back in there? Yeah. We're going to be doing that. So, also want to give a shout out to Southern Girl. Hey, Southern Girl, where you been? Ain't seen you in a while. That's probably because I ain't been around in a while. But shout out to Athena. Yes, indeed. Shout out to Teddy on Fire Daniel. Yeah, buddy. Joey Sparks. What's up, man? That sounds like something from the Bronx or something. Yo, it's Joey Sparks, man, from Brooklyn. Yo, shout out to my man Skohar. What up, what up? And shout out to Mr. B. God bless you too. Hey guys, first and foremost, hey, I just want to say that it is good to be back. I had to take some time, man, just to get myself together, take a break, keep my life right. Sometimes you just gotta unplug, man, and just, hey, chill a little bit. And it was good. It was a good time away. But I'm glad to be back. I'm glad to be doing this once again. I missed you all, so I hope tonight that we have a good time. I'm anticipating it. I'm expecting it. Better yet, I'm expecting a good time on tonight. So let's do this, people. I do want to first and foremost give a shout out to my man Tommy Sotomayor, wherever you are, brother. Shout out to you. I hope that you are safe and doing well, my friend. And to everybody else that has supported me and the Soto Nation, and those of you who are watching this on the replay side of the game, or if you're watching it live, you could have been any place else in the world, but you chose to be here with me tonight, and I appreciate that. So, without further ado, let's get it cracking. All right. So what I wanted to do was, I've had this show idea and this show topic for quite some time, but I didn't really know how to approach it. I didn't want it to be something to where we just talked about it and just said, hey, this is what it is and this is what it's going to be, you know, what's going on with forgiveness. And that's what the show is about. And the more I thought about it, the more that I molded over in my head on how I wanted to do it. I think that this way is like the best way to do it, because I wanted to, at first I was going to do like an open topic thing to talk about why people can't forgive, why people don't forgive each other and all that stuff. Shout out to ZYZ, there we go. But I didn't want to do it that way because I didn't think that it would like get us to where I was trying to take us. So this is why I did it this way. And basically what I wanted to do was I wanted to essentially just talk about just forgiveness, what it is, why we have such a struggle with it and such a problem with it, and what we can do to actually overcome it and to be more forgiving. I think that is one of our biggest things when you're talking about just who we are as a people, what we do in society. We have such a non-forgiving mentality to where when you do something to someone or somebody does something to you that you don't like, it's like you hold on to that forever. And what it literally does is it eats you alive. Chomp, chomp, chomp. It eats you alive from the inside out. So I want to hopefully help free some people today. And I want to help some people, you know, just get better at it today. So that's my goal. And one of the first things that I want to talk about is with forgiveness is, what is forgiveness? What is truly forgiveness? And we say all the time, hey, you forgive me? Yeah, I forgive you, man. It's all good. But what is it to truly forgive somebody? And it's like when you're thinking about, you know, the things that people do where they may upset you, they may do something that, you know, violates your trust. The whole thing of just trespassing against you or just doing something that just basically harms you, hurts your feelings, hurts you physically, hurts you emotionally. When someone does something like that, now there's an opportunity for you to let that go. I think that there's a certain way that you have to forgive that person. And you have to forgive that person. I think most of the work comes from you and comes from within. Because at the end of the day, I think that there are some things that you may not be able to forgive at that moment, but you would still have that opportunity to work on those type of things and give that forgiveness at a later time. But you also have things that you can forgive in the moment. There are certain things that you can just work through and let go. And I think that's where one of the areas where we fail in doing that. We don't work through it right then and there. And what I mean by working through it is, let's say somebody does something that hurts your feelings, or somebody upsets you, or somebody, let's say they physically hit you. All right. So the first and foremost thing is that you need to ask yourself why that person did what they did. And that is a question for you to ask yourself to figure out what it is that you know about that person. If you know some things about them, you can say, well, why did that person do that? You know, from what I know about this person, why would this person do this? And then you have an answer that you can come up with most of the time. Then it's actually asking that person, challenging that person on their actions. Hey, man, why did you do this? Hey, why did you say that? Why did you say this about me? Why did you tell this person that? And you just ask that person outright, flat out, just direct, ask the question as to why. And listen to that person's response. You can't give them or you can't expect them to respond the way you want them to, but a direct question should definitely garner a direct response. So if a person goes all around the mulberry bush to try to give you an answer, then that's not an answer. It's at the end of the day, that's just a person who's dodging the question because they don't want to deal with their own actions. And that's another part of the whole forgiveness thing too. So once you figure that part out, the next step is to say, okay, this is why that person did it. Whether you agree with it or disagree with it, this is why they did it. Now you have the opportunity to evaluate what that person's motives were, and you can actually make the decision to say, well, this is something that I can forgive. This is something that I can move past, because that's what forgiveness is being able to move past the hurt, move past the situation, let it go to the point to where now you can begin the healing process, because you don't instantly heal like that. You can't just Thanos your healing. You can't just do it that way. So what you do is you say, okay, so this is what you did. This is why you did it. Now it is now up to me to determine if I am at a point to where I can work through this. Can I move past what has happened and move on? And a lot of times I think that's where we kind of like sugarcoat it and try to say, oh, it's okay, girl. Don't you worry about it, girl. Or you be like, yeah, bro, it's all good. But in the back of your mind, you still holding on to that thing. You still at a point to where you're like, well, man, you pissed me off when you did that, man. You know you shouldn't have stolen from me, man. You did it anyway, you know. But now you're sitting back and you saying that you forgave him and it's squashed, man. It's squashed. And it's really not. So you have to be able to give yourself time to heal. Give yourself time to heal. And you can do that simply by just saying, you know what, man, I forgive you, but I'm still pissed off right now. So, hey, let's just give it a few days and we can, you know, chop it up later. You can do that. That is okay to do. It is not something where when someone asks you for forgiveness that you have to do the godly thing and just forgive them instantly and say, yes, I forgive you. Let's move on with our lives. It's not always that simple, because there are a lot of things that cut deep. There are a lot of things that hurt us to our very core, to where you have to begin to heal that by taking time. Time does heal all wounds, and sometimes you don't know how long it's going to take to do that. So you can't just expect, or especially the person who's asking for forgiveness, you can't expect an instantaneous forgiveness. I tell people that are in relationships when I'm doing counseling and things like that, the initial asking of forgiveness is one thing, because that is something that you definitely have to ask for to even see if you can move past it, to see if there is going to be a healing that can take place to where you all can still be together. But that doesn't happen right then and there. It doesn't happen instantaneously. It's not something that just goes and just says, yeah, this is what we do. I forgive you. We move on and that's it. So you have to be able to work with that person in that healing process. And that's where the person who has offended, or the person who has hurt that person, or the person who is asking for forgiveness, that's where their work is. You have to work with that person to help them in healing for that forgiveness. Okay? So the other part of that too is, once you have committed to that, you have to do the work as well to say, well, this is something that I am definitely going to work at, to say, hey, I'm going to forgive you, and the way we're going to do that is by you doing this. So if you do something to where you hurt my feelings, then one of the first things we would obviously want to say is say, hey, don't do that anymore. Don't call me that anymore. Don't say that to me anymore, because it's something that definitely hurts my feelings. And we may have had a breakdown in communication in the before, to where you didn't know that, you didn't know how I would take it, or you didn't know how I would feel. But now that you know that, now, hey, we can. That's the first step. Because one of the things that we have to always remember is that it's so much easier to hold on to the pain. It's so much easier to hold on to the hurt. It's so much easier to hold on to the anguish, being pissed off. It's easier to do that because when you do it that way, what it does for you, it gives you basically a free victim card, because you weren't the transgressor, that person was. So now you can sit back and you can say, well, this person did that to me, that's why I'm like this, and that's why I feel this way. They shouldn't have did that. They shouldn't have said that. They shouldn't have did that to me, and they shouldn't have hurt me in that way, because if they would have, we wouldn't even be here. But the fact that they did, that's on them. When you do that, you're taking the easy way out, which is actually going to be the way that hurts you the most. Because what you're doing is you're making yourself a victim and you're not allowing yourself to heal. So it's basically like you get cut in the chest and you say, oh man, first thing you're going to do is grab it, right? To try to help it, to hold it. You want to hold it together. But what if you just got cut in the chest and you did this? Let me open that up so everybody can see what's going to see what he did. See, you don't want to do that, because all that does is it keeps that wound open and you are never able to move past it. A lot of times in life, you can have someone hurt your feelings, break your heart, hurt you to your very core, piss you off, whatever the case may be, and that person can move on and be like, you know what, that shit, that person ain't gonna forgive me, I'm out, I'm gonna go do me, do my thing, we ain't friends no more. And they can move on. You, on the other hand, will hold on to that all of that emotion and keep that wound open and never heal from it, and will literally spend years talking about this person, talking bad about this person, telling everybody you know, shouting it from the mountaintops about what this person has done to you, how this person wronged you, and you will make it sound like it just happened 5 hours ago when it happened 5 years ago. 5 years ago. Now there are some instances where you have friendships to where, hey, you all can try to work things out and you can say, hey, I forgive you, but I don't want to be friends no more. That can happen, and that's okay. Everybody that you cool with and that you connected to and that you friends with, they are not meant to be your lifelong friends. Sometimes people change, circumstances change, lives change every single day, and you can be to a point to where it's time for you all to part ways. Not that you're now mortal enemies, but you've just grown in two different directions. You've grown in two different paths. So now you can just say, hey, you know what? Yeah, we used to be friends, and just, with time and the thing that you did or the way things went down with this person or that person, I forgive you for it. I've healed from it. I'm good, but I definitely just think it's best for us to not be friends like that anymore. And that's okay. That's a part of life. If you think about it, there are people that you grew up with from your childhood that you're not friends with now. If you saw them today, it would be great to see them, but you're not the best of friends. That's life. That's just transition. Things happen, things change. It's not a bad thing. So that's definitely one of the things that you have to make sure that you acknowledge and understand. Another thing too, we take the advantage of being that victim, and we use that to help us. We use that to have our own pity party. We'll use that to say, well, this is something that we had, this person did to me, and that person hurt me to the point where I don't trust nobody no more. So now you've taken that whole situation, and now you've not only just held it close to keep the wound open, but you've actually wrapped yourself up in it like a blanket to just keep it. For anybody that see you, they got to deal with that blanket first. I got hurt before, and that person hurt me to the very core of me, so I don't trust nobody, and I don't want to do this with nobody. I can't talk to them. It's too much. You've taken it too far to where you are now making this a cornerstone in your life. You're making it one of your main building blocks, and that's something that can be very detrimental to you, and I'm going to get to that in just a second. One of the other things that I do want to mention is we absolutely need to always find a way for us to heal. Whether that's through forgiveness, whether that's through arguing, whether that's through debating, whether that's through talking things out, regardless of how you have to figure it out, you have to always, for your own self, this is for your own self-preservation, always try to find a way to heal. Always try to find a way to heal. Because if you don't, you will be the one that suffers the most. There are plenty of people that go out of their way to make other people's lives hell. And it's not necessarily because of what they did, but it's because of what they did to the point to where they've taken on and they've just totally engulfed themselves in that one instance, in that one situation, to where now they're at a point to where they hold it all in and they make everybody else feel it. Everybody else suffers from it. Everybody else gotta deal with it because they want to hold on to it, because they don't want to do the work to heal. It's easier to hold on to it. So always make sure that you put yourself in a position and keep that in mind. Yes, this person hurt me. Yes, this person, broke me down, broke my heart, broke me to my very core. Now I still have to try to find a way to heal and how to get past and move past this. Because if you don't, it will eventually consume you. And that's how people get bitter. That's how people get, what do they call it, old and ornery. They get that way because they haven't found a way to heal from their hurt. And when you get that hurt, yep, it's going to hurt. Yep, it ain't going to be easy to heal. Just like with any type of wound, any type of scar or whatever you may have. When somebody cuts you deep, it's going to hurt. But you have to be able to put some type of first aid on it. You got to be able to apply some type of first aid on it so that you can begin the healing process. So always remember that. Always find a way to heal. So one of the things that you also need to make sure that you do is to understand, you understand why you need to forgive, but also you have to be able to look at forgiveness look at it like a gift. And that's one reason why I entitled this The Gift of Forgiveness. Forgiveness is a gift because it is something that you give to somebody, but you also have to give it to yourself. All right. And a lot of times we give gifts for, we're more inclined to give a gift to someone, and we find it very difficult in a lot of instances to give that same gift to ourselves. There are a lot of things that we would do for others that we may not even have thought of doing for ourselves, or that we won't do for ourselves. So you have to put yourself in that position to say, yes, this is the something that has definitely hurt me, and I understand why that person did it, and I had a conversation as to that person doing it, not doing it anymore. I've set my expectations to say, hey, this is what I expect from you going forward so that this doesn't happen again. And now I'm in a position to where we've dealt with the situation. I can give you this gift of forgiveness. And once I give it to you, I can give it to myself, because you have to always be willing to accept responsibility in the part that you played and why someone did something to you. So was it a thing of you made yourself vulnerable? Was it a thing of where you trusted somebody too soon? Was it a thing to where you trusted somebody with some information or a secret that you shouldn't have? Was it a thing to where you did too much for someone, you gave too much to someone, and they took you for granted? That is your responsibility. That's that self, what do they call it? Not self, well, that's your responsibility, and that's your own personal accountability. You have to hold yourself accountable for those things that you do. Just like when you're in a relationship with someone and that person tells you, this is what I want you to do, this is what I need you to do, and you saying, yeah, I'm gonna do it, but deep down inside you don't want to do it, and now you got an attitude about it, and then you wind up going off on that person because you did. At the end of the day, you were the one that was in that relationship that said and committed to doing those things. And when you don't make sure that your voice is being heard to the point where you say, well, hey, I don't want to do that, that's where you start to go wrong. And that's where you got to hold yourself responsible for that. A relationship is a dialogue between two people. It's a constant dialogue. And it's about two people taking care of each other the best way they can. And within that, there's a teaching aspect of it too, because I got to teach you how to take care of me. You got to teach me how to take care of you. And the more that we are committed to doing that, the better we'll be. But those things that aren't right, the things that are wrong, those are the things that you just simply say, hey, let's have a conversation about it. Let's figure it out so that it doesn't happen. And just accept responsibility for it to say, well, hey, this is something that I kind of wasn't 100% transparent on. This is kind of something that I just didn't necessarily let the cat out of the bag. I should have told you that I wanted my feet rubbed every night. And you ain't rubbed my feet but once in the past 6 months. And I'm pissed off about it. That's okay. Because at the end of the day, all you can do now is to say, well, how do we fix it? This is what we're going to do to fix it. I'm going to rub your feet because I don't mind rubbing feet. And then you're going to be happy and I'm going to be happy. Actually, we're going to have a foot rubbing party because I'm going to rub your feet while you rub my feet. You see what I'm saying? So you've actually worked through something, you've forgiven that person, and now you're at a point to where you've healed because you have an understanding. So you got to make sure that you keep that type of mentality and keep that open mind to say, hey, I'm going to give you this gift of forgiveness, and then I'm going to give it to myself because now I've learned how to be better. I've learned how to speak up for myself. I've learned how to say, well, let me be a little bit more detailed in what it is that I expect. And when you can do that, you can find a whole nother level of just happiness, a whole nother level of communication. People sometimes want you to be, people say, don't be selfish in a relationship, don't be like this in a relationship, but you absolutely should be a bit selfish in a relationship to the point to where you're able to tell someone what it is you like and what it is you want and what it is you expect. Because when you're able to do that, you're now giving that person the opportunity to either fulfill it or to tell you that, hey, I can't do that. Or you can that person can also say, well, hey, I can't do that, but I can do this. You can negotiate. It's all about how you communicate with each other that's going to make those things so much better. And that's friends, families, lovers, all of that. That's all of that included. You have to be able to tell people what it is that you want, what it is that you expect after you've been hurt, so that you can move forward, so that you can actually forgive them. Cool? Sweet. Last but not least, and this is the biggest part of forgiveness, and I think this is where everybody, including myself, struggle the most. It's the point of saying, hey, now that I've given you this gift of forgiveness, can I forgive myself? And what I mean by that is there are so many things that we do as humans every single day that we are disappointed in ourselves, ashamed of ourselves, angry at ourselves. We don't have enough self-esteem for ourselves. Our self-esteem isn't high enough of ourselves to the point to where we don't think we're worthy of forgiveness. And at the end of the day, I tell this to any and everybody. And for those of you that are watching this, if you don't hear nothing else, hear this. You're not just worthy, but you're worth the forgiveness for yourself. Forgive yourself. And when you can get to a point where you can forgive yourself first, you really win it. You're really winning when you can do that. So make sure that you put yourself in a situation to where you can forgive yourself. That is the hardest thing to do, because sometimes we can be so ashamed of what we've done. We can be ashamed of what we said. We can be ashamed of how we behave to the point to where we think, well, man, I wouldn't want to forgive me, so I can't forgive me. I think that what I did was so bad and it was so wrong, and I did it for whatever reason, whether it was something that I was hurting my childhood or whether I just never learned the lesson, and I did it to the point where I feel as though I don't need to be forgiven. I need to just suffer. No, that's not what life is about. That's not what life is meant to be. Always remember that you are worthy and you are worth that forgiveness. Forgive yourself for whatever it is that you've done, for the things that you've said, for if you stole a pack of gum from your grandmama back in '84, forgive yourself for it so that you can begin that healing process. Because once you've forgiven yourself for it, now you can say, hey, I can now say this is what I'm going to do to make sure it doesn't happen again. And sometimes that can be fluid to where, hey, it might happen again, it might not. Sometimes you can fall off the wagon and you can get back on it though. Always be willing and always make an effort to forgive yourself, because that's where you can truly begin to change. People always say that you can't change what you don't acknowledge. That's absolutely true. Once you acknowledge it, once you've understood why you're doing it, why you've done it, now you can forgive yourself and begin the healing process so that you won't do it again. Cool? Sweet. I told y'all this is going to be quick. I hope that this has not only helped myself, but it has, but I hope that this helps someone else become a better version of themselves. I love you guys so much. I'm so glad to be back. This has been awesome. I'm glad to show was actually quick like I expected. I wanted to do like maybe 30 minutes or so, and I think that's where I'm at. So I'm going to see if anybody has given me some donations. I'm gonna read those, and then I'm gonna be out and I'm gonna enjoy my night with my wife, who is on her way home to me. Not now, but right now, right this very moment. So let's see here. Oh, you know what? That just reminded me. Yes, indeed. I gotta say this. Let me say this, and I definitely just have to acknowledge, the things that we do at Soto Nation, the things that people have done for me. It's one thing to do something that you love. It's awesome. It's fulfilling. It makes you feel good. And for me, I really like what it is that I do. Whether it's doing the relationship rehab, whether it's doing the United Guns of America, whether it's doing the Guru and the Horror with Tommy, whether it's sitting on a panel with DJ. I love doing what it is that I do. However, it's another thing when what it is that you do, what it is that you have put money into, sacrifice for, when other people acknowledge that, and when other people donate to you, when other people support you, when other people come to your shows, when other people click the likes, when other people do those type of things, it makes it so much more rewarding. And I just want to say to everybody who is giving me a dollar, $5 bill, $10 bill, $25, $50, $75, $100, $150, $200, $300, $500, $1,000, to everybody that's ever donated a dime to me, I just want to say thank you, and I appreciate everything that you guys have done thus far. I am really, really, really grateful to have people that support what it is that I love to do, and I hope that it is benefiting you as well. I hope you enjoy it too, and I just had to say that. One of the people that always donate to me is my man Emmanuel Branch, and I can tell you one thing about him is that he's donated to me even when I'm not doing a live show. He donated to me on my birthday. He just donated to me on Father's Day. That's why I just acknowledged. I just remembered that, and I was just on Father's Day, I was like, man, that's really cool. And it's just a thing of just people acknowledging you, man, for what it is that you're trying to do and what it is that you do on a day-to-day basis, even when you're not on the show. And I just want to say thank you for that, man. So thank you, Emmanuel Branch, for your donation, man. Also, I want to give a shout out to Jaleel Butler. Thank you so much for your donation, good sir. And to my brother, DJ Just J. Yes, sir. I appreciate you. DJ said, my fave number. Love you, bro. My favorite number. I got you. Thank you so much, brother. I appreciate you and your donation too, man. And man, I just want to say it's good to be back. I love you guys. I appreciate everything that you guys have done. Until we meet again, I got some stuff coming up, some more shows. So, man, I look forward to seeing you all. Like, subscribe, and share. Peace, and I'm out. Thank you, guys.